Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review, or our review, of the brand new Sony animated film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now then, I think this has been quite a highly anticipated film, would you agree, for both of us? When this was announced earlier this year, I wasn't really that interested in it, but it's been building up hype as the months have been going on, and since it's been released, I think it's fair to say that this film is getting very, very strong and positive reviews from everybody. I'm not seeing a negative review yet. And what is this film about? Well, how do you explain this film? This film is it's based around Miles Morales, who at the beginning of the film he's bitten by a radioactive spider. It's right at the beginning of his Spider-Man career, and he bumps into Spider-Man that's trying to stop Kingpin from opening this portal to all these other multiverses. Go on.
Technically the spider's from a different universe as well.
Yeah, the spider that bites Miles is from a different universe, it seems, or a different dimension. So this then brings forth all these other Spider-Men into Miles Morales' universe. We have a huge amount, and you've seen the trailers. We've got the traditional Spider-Man, Peter Parker. We've got the noir Spider-Man,
Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Tobey Maguire one. We've got Gwen Stacy as Spider-Girl, Spider-Woman. Who else have we got? That anime one, the big robot. We've got the pig.
Yeah.
Loads of different Spider-Mans, and they've got to try and work together while Miles is trying to figure out his own powers and how they're gonna work together and stop the Kingpin from hatching his dastardly plan. That's. Don't really want to say much more because I don't want to spoil anything. Never do want to.
I also just want to say that Kingpin in this film is about 15 of Miles Morales's.
He's huge, and he's voiced by Liev Schreiber. And what's Liev Schreiber been in?
X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Yeah, he was in Wolverine as Sabretooth. Now, what did we think of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? Well, I just thought this film was almost a stroke of genius. How well it's made. The animation is absolutely unique, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, most of the time it don't feel like animation.
Yeah,
it just feels like dolled up real life.
It feels like almost like CGI. It's so wonderfully done, this animation. I promise you've never seen animation like this before. It's really cleverly done. But I think what makes this film work even more than the animation is the writing. It's really cleverly written. It's really snappy. It's funny, isn't it? I mean, properly funny.
You start to notice throughout the film that it's a bit kind of rushed, and the film makes fun of itself with a joke in it.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it because it's just that funny, but
it's just some of the lines they come out with. It's very meta in its approach as well. It breaks the fourth wall in that sense. It's just really, really cleverly written. Probably the best written film I think I've seen this year, and that's a bold statement, I know, but it's so clever. It's what makes this work, as well as the voice acting by everybody. It's really expertly done to the point where it doesn't feel like an animated film. I've been seeing people say that this is the best Spider-Man film they've ever seen, or it's the best superhero film they've seen in the last decade, etc., etc. I mean, you could go on with quote after quote, and while I might not exactly agree with all that, I think I would go as far as to say this is arguably one of the strongest animated films I've seen in a very, very long time, and right up there in the Spider-Man films in my opinion. Brilliant. What did you think?
It's just good.
What's the first thing you wanted to do when you got home after watching it?
Play Spider-Man on PS4.
Play Spider-Man on PS4. And we were joking earlier because we've both played that game and completed it.
100% of it, actually.
Yeah, and when we weren't going to the cinema earlier, I says, I bet you after watching this film you'll be playing Spider-Man later, and he's like, no, I won't. But yes, you are. And to be honest, I'm going to be as well. It really is a top-notch film.
The suit appears in it as well a few times. Spider-Man PS4 suit.
It does. There's a nice little Easter egg in it as well. The one when he goes down into Peter Parker's suit cellar with all his gadgets and stuff, and you see all these suits. I mean, it's like a Spider-Man's dream. You see all these legendary suits lined
There were
up,
kids in
and
cinema
right, and right at the end was the suit from the new Spider-Man PS4 game that was designed uniquely for that game, which I thought was brilliant. I think Sony must be just pinching themselves because they've had a brilliant year.
And Marvel did it again, right? They made us wait 15 minutes for the end credit scene, and then they just took the piss.
Yeah, don't swear. But yes, the end credit scene is funny, but you know, it. What can you say? It was a bit of a joke on us, really. But it was a really good film, and I think what was great about this film as well, it was full of heart and emotion. It is actually quite emotional in the sense of the relationships that Miles has with his family he's got to deal with, and pretty terrifying at times. That guy who played the Prowler, who's in this film.
Don't spoil it.
No, I'm not going to spoil who it is. Of course, I'm not going to spoil who it is. But the scenes with the Prowler were actually the music when it kicked in. It was quite scary, wasn't it? I literally jumped out of my seat a couple of times in the cinema. It actually made the villains pretty scary.
And they gave
thought.
Miles some new powers that he didn't traditionally have in the comics, like turn invisible.
Yeah. There's some powers in here that I wasn't aware of that made it a little bit more cool. So I think it's fair to say we both enjoyed this film, and I think it's a very strong contender for making my top 10 films of the year for certain. So, what rating would you give this out of 10?
9.
9 out of 10? I concur. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 as well, guys. Really strong film. Huge fun, great for all the family to go and see. Don't be put off if you don't like animation and stuff. It genuinely doesn't feel like animation when you're watching it. It just feels like something completely new.
The only reason I didn't give it a 10 is because it does feel a bit rushed, but it makes fun of it.
Yeah. I know what you mean. You didn't like the fact that if you like Miles didn't really meet his full potential until maybe the last 15 minutes of the film, did you?
Yeah, and literally the second he meets Spider-Man, Spider-Man realises he's like Spider-Man. Like, Miles is like him and has spider powers. The first thing he says is, I can train you.
Yeah. So there were a couple of things in there that you weren't overly keen with, but I thought it was almost flawless, this film, so definitely worth a watch, guys. So thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you next time on Screen Stars. Say goodbye.
Bye.